The aftermath of the Brown shooting has taken an unexpected turn as local law enforcement humiliated the FBI for botching the investigation, and noted douche canoe Kash Patel has ducked out of public sight. Anyone horrified by the number of mass shootings this year, not to mention Patel's management of FBI resources, please take heed. Public safety is on the line here. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. In case you tuned out over the weekend, Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, was the site of a horrific mass shooting on Saturday night. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the students and faculty there, as well as the families of the victims. Here's a quick overview.
And 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we received a call. 4:05 was when the initial call came in to Brown University of a report of an active shooter. I can confirm that there are 2 individuals who have died this afternoon, and there are another 8 in critical status, those stable, at Rhode Island Hospital. Those are the only injuries or casualties that we know at this time.
Mayor Smiley telling people on campus to continue to shelter in place. There is no suspect in custody. Authorities say that a suspect is a male dressed in all black. Brown sending several emergency alerts to students and faculty, and people on campus instructed to lock doors, silence their phones, and remain hidden.
Chilling, right? My beautiful viewers, I take no pleasure in saying the situation has gotten even worse. Stay with me here. Following the attack, yesterday, the FBI announced that they had a person of interest in custody. Surveillance tape did capture images of the shooter, though only from behind. For a moment, with the FBI posturing the questioning of the person of interest as a major breakthrough, things did look better. Campus reopened from lockdown, and students and faculty returned to normal life. And then this happened.
We are back following the breaking news from Brown University, and a manhunt for a suspect in Saturday's deadly shooting is now back underway after authorities released the man that they had previously identified as a person of interest, now saying there is no basis to consider him a suspect. Providence Mayor Britt Smiley acknowledged the news could cause fresh anxiety on campus, but said law enforcement does not believe there's any immediate threat to the Brown community and Providence residents.
They grabbed the wrong guy again. I would remind you all at the moment that the same thing happened earlier this year following the murder of Charlie Kirk. FBI Director Kash Patel announced they had a suspect in custody, with Patel announcing as much on social media while dining in a New York restaurant as opposed to, overseeing the investigation and giving a press conference. Even worse, that suspect was released from custody. They had the wrong guy. Only after the family of accused shooter Tyler Robinson turned him in to police was there a breakthrough in the investigation. Patel, of course, took credit for that. But this time, it seems like the public isn't standing for Patel's brand of bungling. Speaking this morning on CNN, analyst Juliette Kayyem offered a dire portrait of where the investigation currently stands and the bubbling resentment local law enforcement feels toward the FBI and Patel over their handling of this case. Now, this is a long clip, but Kayyem has a lot to unpack here. Make sure to watch it all.
I think it's kind to call it a manhunt right now, in the sense that manhunt generally means you know who you're looking for. If, at least from what we know publicly, they really only have the back shot, that we don't even know the identity, race, or visuals of the face of the person they're looking for. So as John was saying, you sort of have to do a regroup. That regroup is happening in 2 ways. One is take a step back and figure out where they're looking is the right place to look. He had to have slept somewhere. He had to get gas if he went on I-95. The second is the regroup of what we call the sort of incident command. And you saw that last night. I had never seen a local jurisdiction essentially throw the FBI under the bus, not just saying we're in charge, but saying, look, that lead that led us to the person of interest who ended up not being the person of interest essentially was run by the FBI. They said so explicitly.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's more important to look forward and figure out how they get it right. But you don't like to hear that in the middle of an investigation. Yeah. So, Julie, we're standing on the corner, like right next to the building, which is the crime scene. Some police presence coming back and forth, but not nearly as much as we saw yesterday. already speaking to students who tell me they don't feel safe. I mean, how safe should you feel in this community?
Right. I mean, this is the challenge and unfortunately the challenge of having so many mass shootings is you can't close down a community indefinitely until you say, well, we found the guy. And I actually believe the mayor made the right call. You have to sort of get people starting to think about maybe, living, it's not normal certainly yet, but sort of getting back to openness. The lockdown in those immediate hours was totally appropriate, but we experienced this in Boston during the marathon.
Yes.
European cities have experienced this after terrorism. If you say everyone locked down until we find him, that's just not the right standard. But and so I know people are saying, well, if they don't have him, why are we out and about? It's just unfortunately the nature of living with a certain amount of violence and risk in this country at all times.
So, do you feel safe right now, no matter where you are? The FBI is supposed to prevent this kind of attack before it happens, coordinating with the Department of Homeland Security. Of course, with a know-nothing twit like Kash Patel and a Mar-a-Lago-faced spokesmodel like Kristi Noem running those two agencies, nobody should be surprised that they struggle to function. Thus, local law enforcement in Providence is left to pick up the slack, launching their own investigation with their far more limited resources. Thank heaven for those people who understand that protecting Americans is more important than posing for selfies and posting on social media. This is an administration of narcissistic exhibitionists more concerned with social media posts than doing their jobs. Noem is already on her way out. See our other videos for more on that. And I'm saying it now, this could be the tipping point for Patel as well. Here's hoping we get rid of that douche canoe and replace him with someone more qualified for the job. Needless to say, we'll keep you updated on this story as it continues to develop. Remember to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date. This is Occupy Democrats.